we get to start on the fun stuff. We get to start on the interior. The core of any bike workshop is the workbench. Hi team, I'm Sid.
And I'm Mackie.
For the past 6 years, we've been racing mountain bikes professionally.
And living out of our van.
On this channel, we're sharing those adventures with you.
All of them.
So hit subscribe and join the team. COVID-19 changed our plans for this spring dramatically, but we've made the best of it by renovating our backyard shed and turning it into our dream bike workshop. For the past few weeks, we've been working on exterior modifications, but today we get to start on the fun stuff. I'm in our shed, and it's so awesome and empty. We get to start on the fun stuff. We get to start on the interior, and I would say kind of the core of any bike workshop is the workbench. We've never had a workbench before at all. We use a little tiny little folding table. It's a nightmare. So we want to have a good bench in here, and I think we found just what we need. Our plan is to clean it up and make it our workbench. We want our workshop to be a little unique, to be a little New Mexico, and this is gonna give it some flair. Like if we wanted a workshop that was just like everybody else's, like we run out, we get some plywood. We don't want to do that. We want to use what we have for starters, and we want to make something really cool to share with you guys. We had a few people on Patreon suggest using resin epoxy on this. You may be seeing the YouTube videos or seeing bar tables made out of trees that use that method. However, after thinking about it for a while, we realized that that sort of hard surface is not ideal for a workbench, because if you drop a little screw, it's gonna bounce and roll off. So we need to figure out a way to kind of clean this up, flatten it out, and maybe fill in the cracks. Now the door is walking itself over here. Oh wait, no, Max is carrying it. Help you learn something. If I could stop the time, surely would. In this moment, I really wish I could. I hope you're feeling the same way as I do. The feeling of just knowing that I love you. If you got the time, I like to be with you forever. While Mackie and my dad worked on the door, I tackled a task I've been looking forward to since the beginning. As you can see, there are pretty big holes where every one of these battens went in. That's just kind of how the shed was built originally. And yeah, it's made it pretty easy for the mice and pretty much everything else to get in. So we're gonna tackle this with a little two-step process. First up, got some steel wool. We're gonna put that in, and then we're gonna seal it all up with construction foam. Here's what this looks like. We've got a little bit of steel wool tucked in every hole, and I'm sure someone will be like, that won't actually stop the mice, blah, blah, blah. It probably won't entirely, but I'm taking great satisfaction in just making it more difficult for them, because they've made cleaning this shed very difficult for me.
Moist water to speed cure. Start coming up the tube. Not going to be clean enough. There you go.
Unfortunately, we had to say goodbye to my dad and send him back to Ohio. We're super thankful to have had his help for the exterior of the shed. Since at this point we were waiting for some supplies to show up from Amazon, we decided to tackle a few other tasks before continuing to work on the door. So as you guys know from our previous video, Bob, Mackie's dad, is retiring in July, and he's basically retired at this point because of COVID. So helping to clean out his office and It's a little self-serving because we really want this set of shelves in our shed. The only catch is we have to figure out how to transport it, and everyone's like, why don't you just put stuff on the roof racks of your van? Well, we've got a rooftop tent up there. We've been sleeping in it, so we really don't want to take that off. So, got the Subaru today, and we're gonna strap it to the roof. One little car, two big bookshelves. Got them both up there. Now we just gotta get them on there so they don't fall off. Here we go. Just so y'all know, this is very normal behavior in house. Nobody's even gonna look at us funny. Bob wants to carry the bookshelf by himself because he feels like in our previous videos, maybe he came off a little less industrious.
It'd be better if you could work on the parts I could see without moving.
So we're gonna let him carry this bookshelf by himself.
Well, let's first see if I can lift half of it.
I believe in you. Oh, this is a bad idea, guys.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh no.
Should at least put the straps in the back. I would get in the middle.
You definitely want to get in the middle.
Put it down. I think we should put it down.
I think it's going to be harder once you can get it down.
I'll just carry it with you.
Here, I'll just crop Mackie out.
We get to start working on our workbench, and I think that is pretty darn cool. Have sanded it down very carefully, and it looks really beautiful. We got 1 gallon of epoxy, which we are going to use to do things like fill that crack, because we really don't want to be losing things into the hole, and then probably these cracks. And so that should finish it up pretty nicely. And we may paint the rest of it with some epoxy, but mostly it's going to be about filling cracks.
First step that I'm going to do is vacuum out all the cracks, get the dust off of the store before we epoxy anything. And it's going to be really easy because there are plugs everywhere, so I can just plug the shop vac in right here.
Marine Supplies tabletop epoxy on Amazon. Don't drink it, don't put it on your skin, don't breathe it. So maybe we'll wear some masks and gloves.
I would say COVID has prepared us well for toxic tasks like this. We got gloves, we got masks.
Nothing they're gonna see when everything's said and done. I'm gonna stay on the ground. There ain't nothing gonna bring us down. Whenever the races run, I wanna.
That didn't exactly go as we thought it was going to. But on the bright side, the door looks amazing. The less bright side, we didn't exactly succeed in filling in the cracks. Like this door just like drank up the epoxy, which makes us very glad that we aren't trying to do a full like bar top situation, because we probably would have used like 100 gallons. The good news is this is gonna be a nice, beautiful, clear coat finish. Problem is, well, there's several problems. One of the problems is that these bigger cracks actually went all the way through. They didn't look like they did. Put some caulking, because the bottom of this door is not gonna be used, obviously. We're gonna let this dry, see what we've got in the morning, and then maybe add some more caulking. So, yeah,
It's an
wish us luck. See you in 24 hours for us, like 2 seconds for you. All right, we're gonna see what overnight did for this epoxy. Ooh, it's definitely not dry.
dry, but certainly parts of it have.
I mean, it looks beautiful.
Yeah, it does.
Got one bubble over here.
It's going to be an experiment. We're going to try sanding down these spots with bubbles and see what that does. Wish us luck.
Ooh, it looks good.
It's so shiny. No, it's good. I think we got most of these cracks filled.
We're not gonna win on Pinterest, but
At least never my
for
goal.
very not crafty people, I feel like we did okay. I think this looks really good too. We're filled in these holes. No side problem. Oh, there it
Oh,
goes.
good job. Thought it was going to be stuck there forever.
Once we put our flooring down, the flooring is never coming up again. So the next step in this whole shed build thing, I feel like is,
It's the fun stuff.
it's fun, but it's also difficult because we have to make
Yeah.
decisions about where things go. And I think
It's true.
that's,
Now we're just like, open space.
yeah, I know. And it's
Yeah.
really amazing and open, but
It's not going to be forever.
yeah.
Okay, well, what should I open first? We have some fun things.
This is the first package that we got before we even started construction. We did open it up then. Got our
Velo
Velo
hinges.
hinge from feedback. Very exciting.
Velo wall posts.
Yeah.
Basically look like that.
Oh.
So we have plugs all over, but we knew that we wanted to be able to like plug in
A little charging station.
yeah, little charging stations. There we go.
Whoa, pegboard. Hello.
We have 4 of these. 1, 2, and another pack.
Yeah.
And then we have things like little trays, a shelf, and assorted hooks.
Huge shout out to Feedback Sports for hooking it up. I'm excited about this box.
I'm really excited about this box. So, along with hinges and stuff, they also sent us the Team Edition Toolkit. Ready for it? Ta-da!
That's awesome.
That's a really, really awesome setup. The other thing that I'm really excited about is this thing.
Oh yeah.
I've been drooling over this thing. A torque wrench, which is
Nice.
awesome. A scale.
Yes.
So you can actually-
Ooh, I don't even know what this one is.
Ta-da!
Truing stand.
We're gonna have like a proper tool setup here, guys. I'm really excited about this.
Pretty much the big decisions are where does the workbench go and where do the bikes go
And where do these shelves go?
and where do these shelves go. So what are you thinking right now, just like without measuring or anything? What's your feeling of how the space should be used? And
I
then,
think we should have the tool bench in a corner. The question is, do we want these shelves next to it, opposite it? Like, I feel like being able to access the shelves easily would be nice. So what about you? Initial thoughts?
well, I really like the light in here. My only concern is if we take this whole wall with the shelves and then we do bikes here and there, then where, like what corner does the workbench going to?
Well, I think it's time to bust out the tape measure and do some measuring.
Yeah.
What are our workbenchy dimensions?
75.5 inches. The one thing we didn't think about is it's really wide, so I was like, what if we can't reach the things?
It's a good
But I
point.
think it's gonna be fine because we're both tall. I think a short person would like hate it. They'd be like, I can't reach anything. But I'm pretty sure Like, I don't mind, we just put the less used tools like at the top, so you, whatever, you have to stand on your tiptoes to get it, that's
Yeah,
fine.
not a big deal.
And like you said, it bumps in an inch, so anything in a tray is gonna be super easy to get to.
Yeah.
It just would be like if you hung something that you had to get to the
Yeah, that
top,
would be
at the
hard.
very top. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss next week's episode, where we start getting into the most fun and the most difficult part of this shed build, figuring out how to fit in all of our bikes.